Stop acting like everything happening around you right now is just a cosmic coincidence. Do you feel it? The way the atmosphere shifts. The eyes that once looked at you with pity or mockery are now calculating and cautious. They had already bought their tickets, taken their front row seats, crossed their arms, and counted down to the moment you'd slip. They had their scripts ready, those sharp little phrases like, "I knew it," "Their true colors will show soon," or "It's just a passing phase." They were waiting for your tragedy. But that play never premiered. Instead of collapsing, you kept walking. Instead of a mask slipping off, you only grew sharper. And that ruthless consistency of yours has utterly shattered their entire belief system. You don't need to argue back. You don't need to go online to explain or prove who you are. You used a single weapon, unbreakable presence. And that terrifies them more than any declaration of war ever could. Look who is sweating cold now. Look who has to stand at a distance, quietly observing your every move, desperately trying to decode an equation they miscalculated from the very beginning. They said you would break under pressure. Yet here they are, being crushed by the weight of watching you exist so magnificently. Before we go deeper into how their psychology was broken, press like and subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but because this is how you send a signal to the universe, confirming you are ready to claim the space you belong in. Stage 1. The exhausting game of waiting. They didn't bother calling around to dig up dirt on you. They thought they were smarter than that. Their plan was simple: no one can fake it forever. A hypocrite slips when a crisis hits. An incompetent person crumbles when the workload doubles. A lucky fool fades when the trend changes. They bet everything on time. They believed time would tear off your mask. Month 1, they smirked. Let's see how long this lasts. Month 6, their smiles grew stiff. Year 1, silence consumed them. Instead of seeing you burn out, they watched you set new standards. When no one was watching, you didn't slack off. You sharpened yourself in the dark. Your schedule didn't break. Your discipline took no days off. Your words and actions aligned into an unflinching straight line. The truth is, time didn't expose a mask. Time was the fire that tested the gold, and it accidentally forged you into impenetrable steel. When someone waits for you to fail just to prove themselves right, and instead you become greater, that waiting turns into psychological torture for them. You didn't beat them with your fists. You beat them with your endurance. Stage 2. The law of the bamboo. There was a moment when they thought they finally caught your weakness. A crisis hit, a storm rolled in, a temporary setback occurred. Deep down, they were celebrating. This is it. They're done. But they didn't understand the law of the bamboo. For years, a bamboo shoot barely grows a few inches above ground. All its energy is spent driving a massive, tangled root system deep into the earth. When the storm comes, the tall, hollow trees with shallow roots are ripped away. The bamboo just bends and then snaps right back. You are that bamboo. The past wounds, the betrayals, the lonely nights questioning yourself. None of it made you weaker. They became the roots anchoring you to reality. When the storm of pressure arrived, instead of panicking and looking for someone to blame like they do, you silently solved the problem. You cleaned up the mess. You absorbed the pressure and transmuted it into elevation. That response was a direct slap to their arrogance. They realized you aren't just good when the sky is clear. You are a creature built to dominate in adversity. And that is when their contempt morphed into a quiet terror called respect. Stage 3. The mirror effect. Do you know why they feel so uncomfortable around you now? Why they avoid direct conversations and act strangely polite? Because you have become a mirror. Before your breakthrough, they could comfort themselves with excuses. The system is rigged. Success is only for the privileged. Trying is useless. The old version of you was the evidence they used to feel safe in their mediocrity. But when you broke the limits, when you rose from the exact same mud they are still drowning in, you ripped away their warm blanket of excuses. Your existence is a silent indictment, exposing their laziness, their envy, and their cowardice. They don't hate you because you're successful. They hate you because your success forces them to confront their own failures. Your consistency is cruel because it revokes their right to blame their circumstances. When they look at you, they don't see your arrogance. They see their own dead potential. That is why your mere shadow makes the room feel suffocating for those who live in illusions. Stage 4. The shift in gravity. This is the moment the truth is finalized. You won't get a round of applause or a crowning ceremony. The validation comes silently through the shift of gravity in the room. Notice how things unfold now. Conversations suddenly have to reference your name. The people who once dismissed you are now quoting you, copying your methods. The ones who used to interrupt you now automatically go quiet when you speak. The gravity of attention has shifted to you. You didn't have to yell or give orders. The atmosphere adjusted itself to make room for you. The enemies who once stood united against you are now fracturing, because opposing someone who has proven to be undeniable is a massive risk to their own reputation. They didn't surrender by waving a white flag. They surrendered by getting out of your way. The resistance vanished, leaving a wide-open path for you to walk. Stage 5. The weight of the new standard. If you are still listening and feel a deep, aching resonance in your chest, do not leave. The ones who just wanted their egos stroked clicked away a long time ago. If you stayed, you know you are the chosen one. But hear this clearly. This victory doesn't bring the euphoric high you see in movies. It brings a weight. You proved them wrong, and now you have unintentionally become the standard. People will look to you to define what resilience is, what integrity is, what discipline looks like. The crown placed on your head isn't made of gold. It's made of expectation and responsibility. From this moment on, you are no longer fighting to prove yourself to anyone. The trial is over. The verdict is in, and it is a unanimous consensus. You are the real deal. Your job now isn't to look back and gloat at the collapse of the doubters. Your job is to get used to the cold, quiet air at the top. Get used to not needing anyone to explain your worth. Get used to your success speaking for itself. Stand firm in that stillness. You earned it with blood, tears, and sleepless nights. You didn't steal this position. The universe cleared the path and seated you exactly where you belong. Drop the number 777 in the comments if you understand that what you just went through wasn't a punishment, but the final qualifying test before taking over a greater destiny. Share this message with someone you know is fighting in silence and needs a confirmation. The stage is set. The game of doubt is over. From this second forward, the only direction you can move is straight ahead.